Hey y'all, I'm going to show you yet one more reason why I love the Deluxe Cooking Blender. I'm making sweet potato soup for supper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to add 2.5 cups of broth. Now listen, when you pour your broth out of a box like this, you don't have this on the top. You actually have this on the bottom. No, excuse me, I have that backward. You don't have it on the bottom, which is what you're naturally inclined to do. You put it at the top so that you get that air bubble up there. And so it doesn't go glub, glub, glub. I'm going to show you the difference. Look, if I do it like this, it glubs. So I'm going to do it like this. And the nice thing is that we have our measurements right here on the side. So I'm going to know when I'm at 2.5 cups. And let's see. Whoops, there's still some more in there. Let's see. Are we at 2.5 cups? We're just a little bit shy. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going, because it's soup, I'm just going to add a little bit of water to get myself to the rest of the bit there. Now I'm going to add, I'll show you right here, I'm going to add sweet potatoes, onions, and garlic. And I cut them up on my flexible cutting mat, which I love because it's flexible, which means I can turn it into a funnel so that everything actually goes where I want it to go, rather than all over the place. I love that. So we have so far our sweet potatoes, we have our onions, we have our garlic. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. I love the adjustable measuring spoon because this I can adjust everywhere from 1/8 of a teaspoon down to a full teaspoon. And then the matching one goes from a teaspoon to a tablespoon. So I'm gonna use a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna dump that in here. Here's my teaspoon of salt. And it calls for 4 fresh sage leaves. Well, guess who doesn't have fresh sage leaves? And that would be me. So the equivalent of that is about 1/2 teaspoon. Sage can be a little strong, so I would rather go light than heavy when it comes to sage. All right, and y'all, that's it. That's done. Let me grab my lid. So the lid, just so I'm going to show you here, the lid, it comes in just like this, and then I lock this so it doesn't pop out. Now, if you are in high altitude areas, we actually have a boil over guard that you would put on top of this because high altitude, it can boil over. So there's an oil guard, so you don't need to worry about that. And also, if you've overfilled the container, which there are rumors that I have done such a thing, you could use that as well. So, okay, so to recap, we have our broth, we have our sweet potatoes, we have our onions, we have our garlic, we have our salt, we have our sage. I'm going to turn it on. And then I'm going to turn this to, oh wait, I always like this, right? That tells me that the lid is locked. And now I'm just going to turn it to where it says heat. So, hold on a second. Oh, I went past it. Oh, silly me. Let's start over again. There we go. It's on soup. I don't know if you can see that. So I have it on the soup setting. And you can see it's flashing. It's going to take all the 212 degrees. I'm going to turn it on. And that's it. I'm not going to have to mess with this. And so it's going to do this. It's going to puree off and on, and every 2 degrees, you can see it's at 57. Every 2 degrees, it's going to puree again. And it's like when you come and you stir your pot, that's it. It's going to bring up to 212. We're going to have supper. That's all I took. Y'all, you want the Deluxe Cooking Blender.